So let's just take a few moments and meet ourselves right where we are. So come into a comfortable posture. Allow yourself to begin to untangle and unwind. And actually, let's just let the eyes gaze around us, whether you're inside or out, and just look around you. Let your attention notice anything that's moving, anything that's stationary, noticing colors, shapes. And slow your attention down, slow motion. Just looking around until you find something that's kind of interesting. And let your attention just land on that for a few moments. And like a scientist, very curious, begin to notice shapes, colors, textures. Maybe what you're looking at makes a sound, or maybe it's silent. And then quite naturally allow your attention to land someplace else. One more time. And just begin to soak into what you're seeing, whatever captures your attention. Notice if it's shiny or dull, if it's dark or light. And you can use mental labels to help you capture the moment. Just words softly spoken in the mind, describing what you're seeing. And then allow the eyes to gently close. And for the next few moments, just paying attention to what you're hearing. You may be hearing sound. And if you would like to use a label, maybe you could use the word hear, or bird, traffic, whatever word best describes what you're hearing. And maybe you're hearing silence or wind. So if there are a lot of things that you're hearing, just let your attention land on one thing. And just as we did looking around, let's soak in on just one thing we're hearing, letting everything else be in the background. And see if you can notice the nuances of what you're hearing. Maybe it gets loud, soft, disappears. Maybe what you hear feels nice, or maybe what you hear causes discomfort. Good, and you can let that go and just take a few moments to scan you, meeting yourself right here. How does your body feel? Let a word or words bubble up from within. What is your breath like in this moment? I'm talking about the quality, not whether your breath smells good or bad. Maybe it's a long, slow, deep breath. Maybe it's shallow. And then finally, meet the mind right where it is and describe the mind. Maybe you find the mind to be spacious like the blue sky. A few thoughts like the white fluffy clouds floating by. And finally, let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose, all the way down to your toes. And as you breathe it out with a sigh, and you can allow your eyes to gently open. Yay. Awesome. So thank you all for being here today on Monday. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. So the practice that I'm going to share with you today, and it's a beautiful one that you can take outside with you, is called See, Hear, Feel. So mindful awareness practices, we are quite literally coming to our senses. So if you think of your outer environment, you're experiencing your world through your senses. So you're seeing, right? You're hearing, and you're also feeling. You're noticing temperatures. You can feel your clothing on your skin. You can feel where your body is being supported by whatever you're sitting on. So quite frankly, there's a lot going on out here, but everything can be put into three basic categories: see, hear, or feel. Now guess what? You also have see, hear, feel on the inner environment. So everyone has thoughts, right? Everybody here has thoughts? Anybody here that doesn't have thoughts? All thoughts are either see, we're visualizing, we're remembering, we can see photographs, maybe we're seeing in high definition, or our thoughts can have a component of hear. We're hearing, oh, don't forget to pick up the milk today when you're out, or my goodness, what a lovely day. All thoughts are a component of either see or hear or a little of both. That's pretty cool, right? You also have on the inner environment the feel, which is sensations related specifically to emotions. Now that's pretty neat because there can be a lot of different sensations. You can have sensations of happiness, right? The heart feels spacious and uplifted. Maybe even the sensation of a smile spreads across the face. And there's just this general well-being. All of those sensations are the feel on the inner environment. Now, alternatively, you might also have sensations from time to time, maybe anxiety or fear or anger. So those fall in the feel in category as well. So that's pretty cool, right? We can be completely present by paying attention to the outer world, see, hear, feel, the inner world, see, hear, feel. We can also choose just one of those components to pay attention to. For example, maybe I just want to be out in nature, paying attention to whatever I'm seeing. I'll let everything else be in the background, right? The sounds that I hear, the temperatures that I feel, the emotions, I can let all of that be in the background if I choose and just bring to the forefront whatever I'm looking at. Now for other people, maybe you're out in nature, you're hearing the sound of the birds, you can hear out and you're just paying attention to what you're hearing, and maybe you'll have a thought in there. That's completely normal. You can let that thought be in the background and just keep bringing your attention to what you're hearing. So you get to choose in this particular guidance what you're going to pay attention to. I'll walk you through just the outer environment, and then we'll spend some time at the end choosing. You get to place your attention where you want to. So let's begin by coming into a comfortable posture. If you're seated in a chair or in a hammock, be careful you don't flip out of your hammock. All these new things I have to put into my verbiage around getting comfortable into your posture. Be careful you don't flip out of your hammock. And if you are seated and your feet are resting on the floor, you can allow your hands to gently rest in your lap. The eyes can begin to be soft and gaze is downward. We'll start with the eyes open. And while your gaze is soft, begin to relax the body, releasing any noticeable tension in the face, the shoulders, softening the belly. And then let's bring all of our attention to whatever we're seeing directly in front of us. Let the gaze be soft, almost like you're looking through whatever it is you're looking at. Unfocused, soft. And to help you stay focused on seeing, you can softly repeat the mental label see. Whatever you're seeing, you notice, say the label see, and then soak in for a few seconds to what you're actually seeing. So your practice might sound something like see, see, see. And although I'm hearing sounds, I'm letting the sound be in the background and just putting all of my attention as best I can just on what I'm seeing. Soft, relaxed gaze, see. You might be noticing movement or stillness, colors or shapes. You can allow your eyes to gently close, and we'll bring our attention to hear out just the sounds that we're hearing all around us. And for this practice, we'll just use the label hear, hear, hear. You might notice your attention can be very unstable. It wants to flit around, thinking, planning. That's perfectly normal. When you notice, just come back to what you're hearing all around you. And you can have fun here too. You can have a panoramic view of what you're hearing, letting all sound in, or you can just focus on one sound, kind of a microscopic view. So if you're hearing a bird, maybe just zooming in on the sound of that bird. To help deepen your concentration, using that label here, refocusing again and again. And if you hear silence, soak in and savor the sound of silence. Good job. Now let's bring our attention to the physical body. And we're going to be noticing activity or sensations in the physical body, not specifically related to emotion. So take a few moments and see what activity you notice in your physical body, this beautiful physical body. You might notice the pulsing of your heart, the breathing process, temperatures, textures. Wherever your attention is drawn, land, label that feel, and for just a few seconds, see if you can soak into the sensation of what you're feeling. So if you're feeling sensations of a warm sun on your skin, soak into that. Feel and notice what the warmth feels like. Now you might have many things going on, so you can zoom in on just one activity or sensation in the body. Maybe just the pulsing of the heart, or just the breathing, or just a temperature. Land, label, and soak in. Great job. Now for the last few minutes of this meditation, we're just going to practice the see, hear, feel on the outer environment, wherever your attention quite naturally lands. So for example, I'm hearing Harley Davidsons drive by. Here, you may have heard them too. If your attention notices all of a sudden a warmth on your skin, feel. Or if you hear sound of a bird. Now, although your eyelids are closed, your eyes are still sensing. You might notice colors or patterns, shapes behind the eyelids. So you can still see in the outer environment. So every few seconds, just let your attention land wherever it naturally lands. Label what you notice, see, hear, or feel, and soak into the experience for a few seconds. Good job. You can release that practice and allow the eyes to be gently closed for just a few more moments. And let a word or phrase that best describes how you feel in this moment to bubble up from within. Once you acknowledge your word or phrase, you can allow your eyes to gently open. And I'll share a poem from Mary Oliver. This one's called The Journey. And Mary Oliver is one of my favorite poets. One day you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried. But you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn. And there was a new voice, which you slowly recognized as your own. It kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the thing you could only do, determined to save the only life you could save. Boy, that Mary Oliver, huh? So the invitation is to take that off your cushion, outside, and just pay attention. You can look around, just what you're seeing. Open up to just what you're hearing. Notice what you're feeling. I'll see you. Have a great week.